Hey kids, what I want to talk to you about today, this is a fourth and last video on patching the hole in the wall. Project went pretty good. The other day on the third video after I got done painting it, there was just a little bit of a rough spot and I didn't really like it. It kind of stuck out. So I sanded it down and I repainted it again. I primed it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go and put the last coat on. And what I did to help me out a little bit, I put some painter's tape on because when I originally painted this and I pulled the tape, it kind of pulled back and it didn't get a real good cut line on this trim, and it's kind of bothered me since I did it. So anytime you have paint out, it's a great time to make those little touch-ups. And I was pleasantly surprised with that color sample paint. It blended in really good, and I was shocked. I could barely tell. I didn't even have to get out my gallon. I just had a little bit left in. So I don't know, maybe if you ever have to do a repair and you don't want to buy a whole gallon, I mean, you can always take the chance and maybe get the color sample, and that might save you, 30, 40 bucks instead. If you're buying good paint, you're going to pay every bit of $30 for a gallon. I mean, some of your better paint can be $50, $60 a gallon. It just depends on what you buy. So, to recap a little bit, so what I did was I used three different things. I used that lightweight spackling, I used joint compound, and I used the fast dry setting joint compound that came in the bag that I had to mix with water. And actually the other day when I sanded this, I had just a small little area that was bad, so I actually used some of that fast drying spackling and put it in there, and it finished up. So all three of those are excellent options that you could use to patch a hole in your wall. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through and I'm just going to kind of paint this area right here, and honestly you can barely even tell what ever happened, that's what we want. So I'm just going to get a little bit of paint on the brush. I'm not going to get real overzealous with it. I'm just going to try to blend it in the best I can. That first coat took pretty good. This will just be a second coat. I actually applied 2 coats to these walls when I did it. The first coat covered good. I wouldn't have had to do it again, but like I told you, I used different gallons of paint, and what happened was it didn't match up right, and the color that I used, the gallon I used to actually cut everything in around the perimeters was different than what I rolled on, and they were 2 different colors. So I had to end up repainting again. If not, this would have covered in 1 coat, and that's optimal. If you can get a paint to cover in 1 coat, that's excellent because that's less work that you have to do. So I'm going to go through, I'm just going to paint this area a little bit. Just going to put a little bit of paint on it. I'm going to go through, and I'm just going to kind of come along that tape and get that area that I missed. I'm really going to feather that paint in. And this paint is a really nice drying paint. This is just the Sherwin-Williams, just regular super paint, and I'm really happy with it. That's what I've used throughout the house. It covers really well, it dries nice, and it has a nice finish to it. So I'm just going to take and really get this paint in this whole area here and blend it in the best that I can. Really going to whisk that paint out and feather it out, and that will help to blend everything in. I mean, really and truly, if you had a bigger patch, you could use something like that 6-inch roller that I've used in other videos. You could put some paint in that pan and roll it out. A roll is going to give you a more uniform look than a text like the brush will. So that's something you could do too if you wanted to. If you had a bigger area you were patching, a roller might help blend it in a little bit better. That's an option that you have. So I'm going to come down this cut line. Like I said, I wasn't real happy when I first painted it, but like I was low on paint and I had spent most of the weekend painting it and I was just tired of painting, so I let it go. So I'm going to come down this cut line and that should do it for me. And hopefully it blends in, because if it doesn't, I'm going to be in big trouble. Now I'm going to pull that tape pretty quick today. I'm going to let it set up just a little bit and I'm going to pull the paint. But, this is something you could definitely do at home. Pretty easy fix. So if you have paint out and you're going to do a bunch of patching, just do it all at once. Hit all your patches, get everything sanded, prepped, primed, and then while you got the brush out and you got the color on it, just go through and hit everything. I hope you got something out of these painting videos. So my next video is going to be how to fix, I'm going to go out on a roof and fix a couple shingles over at my neighbor's house. We had some high winds and it's actually really windy today. He had a couple shingles blow up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take and show you how to fix shingles and things like that have blown up. I'm going to do a couple easy little things you can do to save yourself a little bit of time. And it's something you can do yourself. So I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you tomorrow.